Hi everyone, and welcome to the Book Refuge. Today I'm going over my June TBR or July TBR, or am I? So, quick story time first, guys, okay? So, if you'll recall, and maybe you won't because there was only about 100 of you back then, I used to not do TBRs because I'm such a mood reader and I just hate being held down to anything, and it just drives me crazy to have to stick to, a plan. Well, I wanted to be more a part of Booktube, and everybody did TBR videos and people really seemed to like them, so I did it. And it's been pretty good. I've, decently read half of my TBR to all of it over the past year that I've been doing it. But, okay, so I was supposed to do a readathon next month. I did one this month. And, I've been doing Romanceopoly readathon the whole year so far. And I already created a pretty little TBR in my journal. And I had all the books written down that I was going to read. And I had them set up on my shelf. And I was all ready to do it. And the last 3 days, because I was waiting for the right time to film, I decided I hated what I was going to do. And I knew that it was going to be a struggle to read those books because the prompts for this just didn't fit with stories I wanted to read. And I just didn't want to do it. So I'm going rogue. There's only 2 books that are 100% on this TBR, and one is the pick that you, the viewers, picked, and one is the book I'm planning to read with Merphy next month. And everything else, I have a huge stack right here of 8 books, and then I have this little jar that I actually made a while ago, and I keep forgetting to use it, where I have the newest books on my TBR, and I'm going to pick 4 out. And they're all just going to be options. They're all books that I want to read the most right now, so I still have a TBR to give you, but I have a wide range to be a mood reader. And I was really inspired by this by Jade over at Bedtime Bookworm, because she does seasonal TBRs, and she has 25 books for a 3-month period, and then she just picks what she wants. So I'm just going to show you guys a bunch that I want to read. I'll be happy to have any of your opinions, what you want me to read the most. Know that my viewers pick, that'll be the number one. I'm actually super excited to read it. That'll be for sure get read. But everything else, I'm just kind of going to leave up to, what you suggest to me the most and what I feel like reading in the moment, because I just need a month, and maybe this will keep going. We'll see how successful it is. I just need a month where I can just say F it and read whatever I want, which is always the case, but I've just felt kind of trapped. And so I'm, maybe I'll do this for the whole summer, and the only books that I will read for sure is what you pick and what I'm reading with Merphy, and everything else will just be whatever I want to. Because yeah, goals are good, but also I'm in this to read for the long haul. And I've put a lot of rules on myself. I've tried to do readathons, which I'm not super great with. This one seemed super fun, but I just don't like the prompts that I got, and you can't really move around. It's the Bookie Trials, which super cool. You should check it out. It looks so much fun, but it's a map-based one, so you have to go in order. And I just knew that with the books that were picked, I was going to struggle, and then I was going to feel guilty that I didn't want to read them in order. And so it's just not the challenge that I'm looking for this month. I'd rather have where I can just read whatever I want. So without further ado, let's get into this pile and into my pull, and then this is going to be my TBR pool for the month, okay? So first up is the book you picked for me. I wasn't shocked at all. In fact, I already own the audiobook for this in anticipation, and it's Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I'm very excited to read this, especially after reading Dry that he wrote with his son, and I loved it. I've heard really nothing but great things about this book. Wow, I have a cute. Somebody put a fun little thing in it, but I'm so excited to read this. I have it on audio. I'm going to tackle it that way, and I can't wait. This book is about a future society where the only way you can die is to be gleaned by a scythe, and there are some good scythes who have a plan or they have a way that they do it, and there are some that are corrupt, and I'm excited to read about it. I love dystopian. I love the idea of this, and the third book comes out this year, so if I really love it and I read all of them, I don't have to wait too long. Next is the book I'm reading with Merphy, which I have postponed for too long, but I wanted her to catch up to me so we could read the next one together. I also have this on Audible, or I have it on Scribd, already downloaded and ready to go because I really love the audio of the first one, and that is The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks. This is the second in the Lightbringer series. I thought it was only a trilogy. Turns out there's 4 out, a 5th one coming, and there possibly will be another one as well. I really love this. This is about Gavin Guile, who is the prism, which means he can use the spectrum of light. There's different powers that come with the spectrum of light. The magic system in this series is amazing. I think I gave the first one like 4 stars, just because like the pacing was kind of interesting to me, but I love it. There's also some great female characters in here. There's a cool younger character named Kip who is really fun, and I'm excited to see how he grows. He wasn't super interesting in the first book, but I'm very excited. These are super big books, but it's also not that big. It's only like 600, and I'm reading bigger things than that right now. Next, I take it back. There is one that I plan to read because I just need to know what happens next. I am halfway through The Dragon Reborn, so I assume I'll be picking up The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan when I finish that. This is the 4th book in the Wheel of Time, which is amazing. They just put out some casting news for the TV show. Rosamund Pike is going to be playing Moraine, and I am so excited. I get more and more excited for the TV show as I read it, and I'm really glad I'm through the first few books so that, you know, I'll be prepared for the TV show. But I have books 1 through 9 right now, and I'm just going to keep going. Like I said in my goals for the year, I want to get through as many of these as I can. I'm super excited. I love his writing. I love his characters, and I can't wait for more. Next, I have one more that I have kind of started, but it finally came out. I've been reading it as an arc, and I struggle reading arcs. That's the problem. Like, I love NetGalley because sometimes you get really awesome ones, but other times I just want to hold the book in my hand. And for me, that's Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagawa. I just picked this up. I loved Shadow of the Fox. This is the second novel. It has some great mythology and different things from different parts of the world, and from what I've heard, it's done really well. This is about a kitsune named Yukimo, and I can't tell you what she's doing in this book because it's a spoiler for the last book, but she has to go on a quest to save a friend, and I'm so here for it. And I'm glad I have the book now because I know I'll get through it much faster. So I'm going to get to this when I feel like it. All right, next I just have a cool stack, and I don't know tons about these ones, so I'll go through them pretty quick and then get to pulling a few. So I have The Beast's Heart by Leif Shallcross. I saw this in the adult fantasy section, and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't know anything else about it except Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm here for it. It seems like a pretty quick book, and it looked really pretty. It caught my eye, so I'm going to give that one a try. I have The Wolves of Winter by Terrell Johnson. I hauled this just a couple months ago. This is about Lynn McBride, who they're surviving in the Canadian Yukon after an apocalypse, and a man comes to town who's new. So there's that. This one also seems pretty short. I picked some really short ones because I want to get through some books. I just really want to plow through some books. So this one is a possibility. Then I have The Lonely Dead by April Henry, and this is about a girl who she's accused of killing someone, and she can talk to ghosts, and so the only way she can prove that she didn't kill her ex-friend is to work with the ghost to find the real killer. And the ghost doesn't remember who killed them because they kind of have amnesia when they come back. So this is cool. This is like under 300 pages. I think it's barely over 200 pages. So it should be a quick little thriller. This is a carryover from the readathon I was going to do because I really want to read it. This is a comic book by Brian K. Vaughan, Pia Guerrera and Jose Marazan Jr. And this is Y, the Last Man. And apparently there was a sickness that wiped out all the men except for one man, and he has a pet monkey. And I know there's a bunch of like badass women in this, and I hope it's cool. I really want to read this soon. I might even pick it up tonight. But I'm totally excited. I loved Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. I've heard this one is pretty intense as well, so we'll see. I'm excited. This is a stretch outside my comfort zone, and I actually bought it for the readathon that I was going to do, but I still want to read it. And it is called The Language of Fire, Joan of Arc Reimagined by Stephanie Hemphill. So this is the story of Joan of Arc, and it's told in verse and poems. And I don't really like books like that, but I'm very interested in Joan of Arc, and I figured it'll be a quick read if nothing else, and it was really beautiful. This was for one of the prompts of the readathon that I'm not going to get to. And then a book I just picked up last night as well. It's called Cherokee America by Margaret Verbal. This is a historical fiction about the American West, and I guess this is based on the life of the author's great aunt who actually lived this. And I guess it's about violence on the Cherokee Indian territory, and the difficulties between the settlers and the Native Americans. It made me think of Little House on the Prairie. One of the first books I ever reviewed on this channel is Little House retold from Carolyn's perspective. It was called Carolyn, A Little House Retelling. And I thought this might be interesting, so I picked that up. Okay, so those are the ones that I want to choose from. And now I have my little jar here. These aren't super mixed up, so I'll try to like pick some random ones in here. But I'm going to pick 4. A Dance Through Time. I'm just going to read them all. Dark Fever. The Cold Dish. And Any J.R. Ward. That's literally what I wrote down. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so A Dance Through Time by Lynn Curlin. This is a time-traveling romance about a girl who falls back in time to Scotland. Oh, I remember this. Falls back in love with a laird in Scotland. And I already started this one, but I didn't finish it. So there's a possibility. Then I picked up The Cold Dish, which is the first book in the Longmire series by Craig Johnson. Get the sticker off of it, which I also have started, but I started it like 5 years ago when I first watched the TV show. So that's a possibility. Then I picked Any J.R. Ward, which meant to read the next J.R. Ward. I put like 4 of those in there. So this is the 5th book, which I hadn't got to yet. So that's an option. And then I picked up Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning, which I've also been wanting to get to. So 4 good picks there. So there we go. There's my ginormous TBR. I obviously won't get to all of these, but I wanted to give myself lots of options and not feel pressured into anything. And so this way, I literally have something from like every category. I have historical fiction, paranormal romance, I have high fantasy, I have dystopian, I have graphic novel, I have so many things to choose from, and I already just feel like I feel my chest opening, and it feels amazing because I felt so like pigeonholed, which is all in my own head. Like nobody cares what I'm reading. Well, I mean, you care because you're watching, but like nobody cares which books I pick. You just want me to read so we can talk about it. And I have just let myself get so squeezed, which is ridiculous because nobody's doing the squeezing but me. So sorry, y'all. It's gonna be fine. There's no reason to be tragic like I was being. But let's do this, and I'm going to get through as many of these as I can. And you know what? The only ones that I really, really need to get to are these 2. And I'm excited for both of them. And everything else is just going to be sugar on top. So there we go. Oh, and just to let you know, the book that is getting unhauled is Ride On. It got like 2 votes. I'm not surprised. But it feels good to let it go because I was never going to get to it anyway. So anyway. If you have watched this far, please like and subscribe this video. Hit the notification bell if you would like to be notified when I post. I put up new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for watching, and you can watch some more videos right now.